Hello and welcome to Nationwide and the network service of the NTA. I'm Olajide Bello. Remember, you can watch these broadcasts live on our website nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for update. Now let's start with the judiciary. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has upheld the election of Abdullahi Sule as the duly elected governor of Nasarawa State. The three-man panel of justices, in a unanimous verdict, reversed the decision of the Nasarawa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which sacked Governor Sule in a verdict delivered on October 2, 2023. Omenka Amarachuku reports.
The matter of this appeal is the verdict of the Nasarawa State Election Petition Tribunal, which sacked Abdullahi Sule of the APC as the governor of the state. The tribunal found David Omar Bugadu of the PDP as the governor-elect of the state. The development made the incumbent governor to appeal the decision of the tribunal. In its verdict, the appellate court held by the tribunal, headed by Justice Ezekiel Ajayi, acted in error in using witness statement on oath not front-loaded as required by law to arrive at the conclusion of nullifying the election of the governor. In a unanimous decision delivered by Justice Uchechukwu Onyemena, the Court of Appeal held that the tribunal was legally bound to add unwitnessed statements filed along with petitions within 21 days as stipulated by law. The court also held that no petition can lawfully be amended outside the 21 days allowed by law, as wrongly done by the tribunal.
Victory is one that comes with lots of excitement, and it comes with lots of relief, so that His Excellency will continue to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people of Nasarawa State.
I think it was rather a very strange misconception of the case, and happily, this is not the final court in this matter. We already have instructions to test the decisions that have been rendered this afternoon, and we are already swung into action.
The appellate court also dismissed the alleged overvoting used on one of the grounds for the annulment of the election of Governor Sule. By acting on this, the Court of Appeal held that the tribunal denied governors fair hearing. By acting on this, the Court of Appeal held that the tribunal denied fair hearing by not considering and making findings on issues of jurisdiction raised at the hearing of the petition. In all, the Court of Appeal reserved all orders made against the governor, Independent National Electoral Commission, and affirmed Abdullahi Sule as a duly elected governor of Nasarawa State. In Abuja, Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
And away from the judiciary, Vice President Kashim Shettima is currently chairing the 137th National Academic Council meeting, which is also the 70th session in 2023. The meeting, being held at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa Abuja, has in attendance governors from across the Federation, sub-ministers and other stakeholders. The meeting is expected to address some of the pertinent economic challenges in the country occasioned by the removal of petroleum subsidy. Also expected to be discussed is the report submitted by the Presidential Committee on Flood Mitigation, Adaptation, Preparedness and Response, submitted to the federal government by the chairman of the Technical Working Group, Professor Emmanuel Adanu, among other issues. The Parliament of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has commenced its 2023 second ordinary session of the 5th Legislature in Abuja. ECOWAS Parliament correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that at the opening session, President Bola Tinubu, in a message, called for regional integration that will translate to security and economic development.
The second ordinary session of the 5th Legislature of ECOWAS Parliament has enormous responsibility to address issues related to security, climate change, among others. Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Mohammed Sidi Tunis, agrees that democracy can only thrive in the region where respect for human rights and rule of law prevail.
We must recognize that peace is a foundation of our shared humanity and future. History has shown us that even the most bitter conflicts can be resolved through dialogue and negotiation.
Authority of heads of state and government have invoked the provisions of community instruments relative to unconstitutional change of government and have applied sanctions on Niger. Until concrete steps are taken for the restoration of constitutional order, the heads of state are determined to maintain the sanctions.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while congratulating the parliamentarians for the feat, says integration should not be seen as a choice, but as an imperative of regional development, urging them to come up with workable recommendations acceptable to all.
ECOWAS has guided us across numerous challenges, but there are still hurdles to overcome. When ECOWAS was established in 1975, it was a necessity. Today, it has become indispensable in an increasingly interconnected world. In this global village, where might often prevails, the weak must unite and draw strength from one another.
Parliamentarians from 15 member countries of ECOWAS are set to deliberate on critical issues of regional economy, democracy and security this coming Thursday for its plenary session. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Many thanks, Mohammed. Nigeria has joined other members of the ministerial committee constituted by the Joint Arab-Islamic Summit in calling for ceasefire in Gaza and the adoption of the two-state solution to end the Israeli-Palestinian crisis. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, at a meeting with the committee in London and the Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom, David Cameron. A statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Communication to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Abdulkadir Aliyu, states that the minister condemned the October 7 attack and the use of force against Palestinian civilians. However, he restated the need to secure safe corridors for humanitarian aid, as the committee stressed the importance of ensuring a just and comprehensive peace through implementation of international laws. Now talking police reforms, when there is effective policing, there is peace and security, and then there is development. Well, good news is now that the Minister of State for Police Affairs, Iman Sulaiman Ibrahim, has reiterated the commitment of the ministry to facilitate police reforms that would enable the force to provide effective service to Nigerians. This was when he received the governor of Nasarawa State in office.
This visit is not strange if you know that Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule is visiting the Minister of State, Police Affairs, who is the representative of Nasarawa State in the Federal Executive Council. The minister informed her governor that the president has entrusted them with a critical ministry with the responsibility to facilitate reforms that will engender effective policing in the country. Similarly, the Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gaidam, also appreciated the governor for visiting the ministry and assured of the readiness of the ministry to collaborate and give necessary support on issues relating to security and policing, adding that they are working with stakeholders to come up with effective police reforms.
Get a better police than before. We made the police at our time, I think, needing a lot of reforms. So we ensure that the reforms are made, and we will leave the police when we are leaving the ministry better than what we have on the ground before.
Governor Sule commended the Minister of State for Police Affairs for being a good ambassador of the state in the present administration, noting that they were in the saddle at the peak of security challenges, hence the need for reforms.
I was at the last leg meeting with you, and I remember we addressed the police together. And I had most of the issues and the plans that you have for the police reform. So, and I strongly believe, with your experience, with your combined determination, and with the vision of Mr. President, we'll be able to achieve that before by the grace of God.
The governor also thanked the leadership of the force for citing police training institutions in the state, which has reduced crime on the highways, and revealed that his state has adopted community policing to complement the efforts of the federal government. Francis from NTA News.
And away from police reforms there, Cross River State over the years has been recognized for its clean and green status, and restoring this dwindling environmental fortune is the vision of the state government across all urban cities in the state. But before we join Uduak Etim live, who is already in position as one of the clean and green lawns in Calabar, let us take this report from Paul Abel, who examines the measures put in place to restore this environmental scenery and ambience in the state.
Calabar, a city referred to as calm and live and be at rest, is gradually recovering from its last glory of clean and green, with the state government ensuring the trimming of canopy trees and regular mowing of lawns on the highways and major streets, routine evacuation of refuse at various designated dams, reintroduction of monthly sanitation exercise at designated locations, desilting of gutters and drains, building fruit arcade at strategic locations in the metropolis, among others, are the measures being put in place. Clean and green environment is essential for human health and well-being of the ecosystem. And these obvious measures, which are changing the narrative residents assert, is commendable.
I so thank the serving governor, Prince Basio too, for keeping the environment very clean.
So seeing Calabar like this, I'm very happy. If they will maintain it.
We are happy that our governor is now resting in gaining back the status of the first capital of Nigeria, as it were.
With the bold step taken by government, the people are only hoping that the measures will be sustained. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Many thanks, Paul Abel. Let's now join Uduak Etim, who is live in Calabar. Uduak, what more can you tell us that is happening?
Thank you, studio. Restoring and sustaining the green and clean environment of Cross River State is the focus of this presentation. And as a matter of fact, Cross River State is known for its cleanliness since its inception. Therefore, sustaining this clean environment is the utmost priority of government, although residents also have a role to play in this regards. However, what are the modalities put in place by the Cross River State government to ensure that this clean and green environment is sustained? Commissioner for Environment, Cross River State, is standing by to give an insight on this topic. Welcome, Commissioner. Please, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Honorable Moses John Osogi, Commissioner for Environment, Cross River State.
Okay, what is the present administration doing to ensure that they sustain the clean and green status of the state?
There are so many modalities put in place. The new government is tagged the people's government, and the priority of the government, of the governor, is to make sure that the people are satisfied. And you know, cleanliness, they say, is next to godliness. So, and we're not taking that for granted. The governor had given a charge that everywhere in Calabar metropolis, in Cross River State at large, must be kept clean. And so we swim into action as soon as we were inaugurated. And so we started engaging the market space, the traders. We agree, we came into a synergy that every Saturday of the week, the end of the week, every Saturday we'll be doing environmental sanitation, and that is really helping us in that regard.
There are factors that contribute to the clean and green environment. Factors such as waste management and waste disposal. What is the state government doing in this regard?
Yeah, when we came on board, like I said earlier, the state government, we called the attention of the environment, the waste managers, the waste contractors, and so we told them it's not going to be business as usual. Everybody needs to swim into action. If you are paid for this work, you are going to do your work. Otherwise, you'll be fired. And they know that it's not business as usual. We equally carried out as a ministry quick intervention in areas that we cannot meet up with, and so that's what we've been doing. We've been doing desilting of gutters, because when it rains, it pushes some of these debris into the gutter, and when the gutters are not maintained, they are not desilted, it causes flooding. And so we've been doing that to make sure that every sector of the environment is kept clean and green.
Based on the waste disposal, is there any enforcement in the state that if waste are thrown indiscriminately, the defaulters need to be punished? Is there any enforcement like that?
Yeah, there is a task force we put in place. There is a special environmental task force that is going around. We discovered that we have so many challenges. The scavengers that are going around the metropolis, scattering the waste, and so we set a task force that are going around. Anytime we see scavengers, interfering with our waste point, we get them arrested. We're equally, we've already given a law in the state that from 6 to 10 p.m. you will come out and dispose your waste. Other than that, you will be arrested. So our people, they are adhering strictly to that information. That on a daily basis, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., that's when they come out to dispose their waste, and the waste contractors equally come out to evacuate those waste, and it's really yielding fruit.
Okay, finally, what is your message to residents of the state that will be coming in for Carnival Calabar, which is coming up in a month's time? What should they expect?
That Calabar is returning back fully to its former status, its former glory, the past glory that, so to an extent, from what I would describe as it was lost completely, is returning back. As at 2 weeks or 3 weeks thereabout ago, Cross River State was rated the third most cleanest state in the country. So by the grace of God, we are returning back to the past, the lost glory. And so my message to the tourists who are coming down from far and near for Carnival, that they are coming to meet a clean, green and serene environment. Nobody should shake. They are coming to enjoy Carnival, and they will appreciate that, oh, there is a government of the people, a government that believes that the people is my mantra.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. That is it on our interview segment, and back to your studio for continuation of the nationwide news.
Many thanks, Udvak, for keeping us up to speed with restoring clean and green in Calabar. All right, moving on. Land Forces Simulation Center Nigeria is providing real-time scenario to develop troops' capacity to combat the nation's emerging security challenges. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, stated this in a message at the opening ceremony of simulation exercise codenamed Unekakai in Giri, Abuja.
Exercise Unek Ukai is meant to stimulate a joint task force brigade of military, police and other security agencies in the act of planning and conduct of military operations in war and peace times using the master software.
Exercise Unek Ukai will integrate and foster liaison with security, paramilitary, ministries, departments and agencies in a joint operational environment while drawing lessons. These lessons will be critically evaluated and applied where necessary to ensure a foolproof operational plan.
I implore you all to work together, communicate effectively and give this simulation exercise your best effort. Your success will reflect your dedication and commitment to excellence. This exercise will not only train you, but also build your capacity on the use of simulation technologies from now on.
The Simulation Center seeks to advance the skills of personnel in the area of cutting-edge technology as a force multiplier to respond to threats. The exercise is also designed for the 13th Brigade of the Nigerian Army. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Adiola is standing by with more stories from Lagos. Adiola.
Olajide. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured of his administration's continuous support for the health sector, especially in the policies and programs that are designed for the sector. The governor gave the assurance at the opening ceremony of the 9th African Conference organized by the Ministry of Health in Lagos. S.A. Wamaka reports.
The 2014 viral Ebola, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the spread of other large-scale diseases have shown that infectious disease outbreak can have devastating impact on any society, hence the need for countries to develop the capacity to manage these threats. It is the 9th edition of the African Conference on Health and Biosecurity, and discussions of health experts and policymakers across the continent are centered on maximizing benefits and understanding risk of synthetic biology and other emerging biotechnologies in Africa.
CNN stands for convolutional neural networks, right? It's a kind of AI neural network that is adept at reading images. And so in terms of identifying the genomic sequence, for the next pandemic, it will be much faster.
Collectively, we can chart a course toward a future where benefits of biotechnology are harnessed responsibly in a safe manner.
Host and Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akina Bayomi, emphasized the need for heightened awareness on the risks and benefits associated with the use of emerging technologies such as synthetic biology for humanity.
As government, we have to develop those policies, guidelines, and laws in a robust manner. And we have to be able to regulate and enforce those laws.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who was represented, stated that adequate measures have been put in place to contain and respond to any future biological threats in a megacity such as Lagos.
Our commitment to strengthening and improving health security has been resolute through a proactive, comprehensive, and inclusive program encapsulated in what we call the Themes Plus agenda. This agenda promotes the improvement of our environment, of course, our health.
It is expected that resolutions at the 9th African Conference on One Health and Biosecurity will help chart a positive course for strategic response against biosecurity threats in Lagos and Africa. In Lagos, S.A. Owamaka, NT News.
Now we're going to the Army to improve efficiency and alertness of its personnel. The Nigerian Army College of Logistics and Management, NACOM, is organizing a course on logistics management for officers involved in planning and development of logistics support during transitional defense and offense operations. Larry Bilei, who was at the Agility area of Ogun State, venue of the training, files in this report.
With the mandate to curtail the activities of insurgents in some parts of the country where these elements hold sway and keeping up with the traditions of the military to be always be prepared, the Nigerian Army is fully aware that successful military operations is hinged on the availability of effective logistics, constantly training of its officers on the logistics administration to achieve this mandate and be abreast latest military logistics are key elements of this exercise tagged Live Wire.
Logistic management is at the apex of any military operation. That is why the military always encourages officers to train and train them on latest and strategic logistic deployment, such as the one going on behind me.
Head tank and police beyond is my general line of direction. Reference head tank. 7 o'clock.
To test the officers' level of acquisition of knowledge on how to optimize logistics support operations in the field.
Scope of the training includes planning for movement, build-up and deployment of forces for operation, formulation of logistics plan for civil military coordination, and humanitarian assistance. In Lagos, Larry Bilei, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos for now. Nationwide continues in Makurdi with Susan after this time out. Please stay with us.
join us in Makurdi. The Benue State government is to continue to receive support from the international community in order to promote peaceful coexistence and improve livelihood. This was the message of the delegation of the International Alert during its visit to the Benue State Governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, at the Government House, Makurdi. Elias Itiav completes the report.
The International Alert, a non-governmental organization, currently renders support in the areas of economic empowerment, peaceful coexistence, and challenges occasioned by climate change in Agatu and Makurdi local government areas of the state. Director General of the organization, Ambassador Nick Haley, who is in the state on a one-day support visit, says the organization currently provides support to 15 countries across the world and will continue to extend same to Benue State. Ambassador Haile also says the three thematic targets of the organization, apart from ensuring economic empowerment and peaceful coexistence, also addresses areas of priorities.
We're working in other parts of the state on other issues that are similar, but the key point is that the community comes up with the priorities. So as they come together, they discuss what is needed, they establish what is needed, and then we, with the support of our donors, the Irish people, are able to fund and support that.
Governor Hyacinth Alia, while acknowledging the support of the international community in various aspects of life, also encouraged benefiting communities to embrace the programs to ensure better living conditions.
The state has faced harsh realities of climate change and intergroup crisis, resulting in internal displacement and heightened tensions. The initiative to promote peace, mitigate the impact of climate change, and boost community incomes through cooperatives is truly commendable.
The International Alert is currently carrying out training programs in the use of waste to produce cooking fuel, fish production, and several other areas. In Makurdi, Elias Etiav, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Benue State Command, has arrested a notorious kingpin who has been on the wanted list of the Benue State government in connection with armed robbery, kidnapping, cattle rustling, among others. State Commandant of the Corps, Abu Ibrahim, said the command will continue to partner with sister agencies towards curbing criminality in the state. Tina Uma reports.
The 20-year-old notorious kingpin, Jacob Apar, alongside members of his gang, have been terrorizing residents of Kwande and Ushugan local government area for some time, but was arrested following a tip-off. The kingpin and his members, who are still at large, were said to have carried out serious activities of crime, which include kidnapping, armed robbery, banditry, cattle rustling, amongst others.
In fact, some of his gang members are that at least some have also been arrested by other sister security agencies. And we already have on strong intelligence and information that large chunk of ammunition has been taken from his room in Kwande local government.
The state commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Benue State Command, Yakubu Ibrahim, said the Corps will not relent until crime is reduced to the barest minimum.
We have a lot of collaborations with the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, DSS, police, and other paramilitary organizations, all towards facing the challenges that are approaching us.
The command had also impounded 9 trucks with different mining content, as well as several persons arrested in connection with illegal mining activities. The command said they will be handed over to the police for prosecution after investigations have been concluded. In Makurdi, Tina Uma, NTA News.
And that does it from Makurdi. It's back to Olajide in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Susan. And moving straight to the Red Chambers. A legislation that would enable Nigeria to tap into $1 billion global bitumen market has passed a second reading at the Senate. The bill seeks the establishment of Bitumen Development Commission of Nigeria as the country ranks second among those with large deposits of the raw material used in the road construction and building industry. Sponsor of the bill, Senator Ibrahim Jimo, pointed to the economic and financial gains of establishing the commission. Other lawmakers in their contribution said when established it could enable Nigeria to save scarce foreign exchange and provide employment to citizens. Meanwhile, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says positive development in the oil and gas sector will be sustained to further improve performance of Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited as the company aims for a net profit of more than 4 trillion naira. This came to the fore when the group managing director, Mele Kyari, met with the leadership of the Senate. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
It goes in line with our campaign promises that we are coming here to not just improve the lives of the people, but also improve our revenue generating capacities with a view to meeting the infrastructural needs and the other needs of Nigeria. So again, congratulations.
The President of the Senate is no doubt impressed, going by the numbers appearing in the green margin of the books of Nigeria's oil company, NNPC Limited, since the removal of subsidy. He reassured the delegation of the resolve of the Senate to be consistent on reforms in the sector. The group managing director of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, listed efforts by the company to enhance activities in the oil and gas ecosystem.
We will complement the expected startup of a number of small-scale refineries that, yes, will add value, but clearly perhaps not cover the gap that we are seeing in supply. And with the startup of the Dangote refinery, we know that in 2024, and we're very convinced with all the planning that is on ground, that this country will definitely be a net exporter of petroleum products in 2024.
Going by investments in security to prevent oil theft, Mele Kyari says the company's ambition of hitting 1.7 million barrels daily crude production is possible. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And from the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to boost yam production and guarantee food security in the country through targeted incentives to farmers from the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Bank of Agriculture, and other financial institutions. Adopting a motion by Representative Regina Kume from Benue State, the House also called for a review of export policies by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to boost food production and export for job and wealth creation.
Also aware that the exportation of yam is highly recommended to boost Nigeria's earning capacity, its external reserves, and its value chain. Unfortunately, exportation is not a thriving business option in Nigeria due to bottlenecks created by regulatory agencies. Worried that those engaged in the business of exportation do so outside the purview of the agencies responsible for promoting the trade by employing the services of local packaging producers or moving their operations to more business-friendly economies like Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and Benin Republic.
This motion is referred to the Committee on Commerce.
National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports that the House, however, stepped down a motion to investigate the state of refineries in the country, resolving to examine the report of an earlier investigation carried out by the Ninth Assembly. And Salamatu in Kaduna is standing by for continuation of Nationwide. Hello, Salamatu.
Olajide, and glad to have you join us here in Kaduna. In a move to improve the nation's law enforcement in line with the global best practices officers. The Minister of State for Police Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, has conducted facility tour at Police Academy, Woody. Elizabeth Yila reports that the minister also supervised ongoing admission process in the academy.
The minister's arrival was greeted with a ceremonial parade executed by the Sentry Guard, showcasing precision, discipline, and an emblem of honor and respect. Accompanied by a team of officials of the academy, the Minister of State for Police Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, inspected the academy's infrastructure.
We have the renewed hope police agenda. This would entail a reform of the police sector, and the police academy will not be left behind. And I'm sure in a short few years, when you come back here, you will not recognize this school. This is a commitment from my side and from President Bola Tinubu.
She also supervised the admission process and interacted with administrative personnel on the protocols and criteria used for candidate selection, urging them to ensure transparency, fairness, and merit-based selection. 21-year-old Ismail Suraj from Nasarawa State, who is undergoing the screening, spoke on behalf of the applicants.
For you to become a Nigerian police, you have to become a patriotic citizen. You work out, obey the law and order, and I'm 100% sure that we are going to make it. Thank you.
The minister underscored federal government's commitment to fostering a conducive learning environment and providing necessary resources to nurture the cadets into proficient law enforcement officers. In Kano, Elizabeth Gila, NTA News.
And away from the assessment visit, the week-long annual Quranic and other Islamic religious competition for male and female categories has ended with winners parting away with various prizes. Muhammad Musa Askira reports that the competition is the 38th edition in the series of the annual Quranic recitation competition in the state.
Muhammad Abubakar from Abra with 73.4 marks in the male category for Quran, its commentary and recitation, as well as Mariam Salihu from Dute with 82.5 marks in the Quran commentary alone, were the overall winners of the highest categories of this competition. This is not the first time, but 38 times, with each edition producing winners like these ones who can not only read Quran in its perfect form in memory, but also understanding its meaning and commentary, rulings and jurisprudence. Governor Umar Namadi promised to engage the overall winners of these competitions for more impacts of the competitions on the larger society.
We will continue to support them, we will continue to support their education, we will ensure that they have advanced education up to the university level.
This particular Quranic and other religious knowledge competition is preluding the National Quran Recitation Competition to be held in Yobe State at a later date in preparation of the World Quranic Recitation Competition later this year. From Duty, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And Muhammad Askira's report completes our package from Kaduna. Benin is next on Nationwide. After this time out, please stay tuned.
You're watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Benin. In an effort to in Edo State, government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the AIG Immortality Foundation and Private Health Sector Alliance of Nigeria. This development is geared towards developing the health sector across all the 18 local government areas of the state. Goodluck Enaini has.
The governor, who was represented by the secretary to the Edo State government, Oge, signed on behalf of the state government, while Ofunwe Aj Imopwede and Dr. Tinuola Akimbolagbe signed on behalf of the AIG Imopwede Foundation Alliance of Nigeria. Oge says the agreement will boost the state government's initiative in building one private healthcare in 100.
We're sorry about that technical hitch from our Benin Network Center in Abuja. A journey of 4 years has covered 6 months with a promising roadmap to change the nation's socio-economic and political narratives through the renewed hope agenda. While the Tinubu presidency settles down for governance, the proscribed amalgamated support groups is planning a protest this Friday. And the Confederation of APC support groups says this must be stopped. Abubakar Kwanga reports.
Elections have come and gone, and for those steering the wheel to Nigeria's destiny, it is now time for promised mead to be kept. This is what the Tinubu's presidency symbolizes. But distraction seems to be in sight as planned protest by the proscribed amalgamated APC support groups over alleged sideline is now gathering momentum.
The tendencies for gaining positions in the federal appointments or reward system is premised on desperate and negative perspectives of the do-or-die syndrome. In the same vein, the proscribed amalgamated has again selected Friday 24th of November 2023 for another ill-advised protest.
Now the Confederation of APC support groups says the Tinubu's administration has showed commitment to solve more than 70% of Nigeria's challenges and should not be distracted. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has reiterated the federal government's commitment to enhance the welfare of personnel of paramilitary agencies in the country. The minister made the reiteration during the unveiling of the camouflage uniform for the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps at the Federal Ministry of Interior, Old Secretariat, Abuja. Olubunmi stated that the additional uniform will boost the confidence of personnel of the Corps in the discharge of their statutory responsibilities, especially as they are involved in several joint operations with other services in the country. Through the incorporation of a visual entrepreneurship service and operating from other points of convergence to meet user expectations is the way to go in an era of digital economy. This is the focus of the conference organized by the Librarian Registration Council of Nigeria in Abuja. Online Kauju reports.
Yes, the Librarians Registration Council of Nigeria has kept track of genuine commitments towards enhancing the library and information science sector in Nigeria. Given the fact that digitization is the new order in this era, this informed the choice of the theme at this conference, Libraries in Digital Economy, Creating an Intelligent Society.
Library services, as a matter of obligation, needs to be packaged and delivered in smart manners that will facilitate digital transformation of the society.
You checkmate what they do, you try to follow up to know that they are not posing any threats to intellectual properties.
And even if your AI today, those information AI is using to work are things people have kept in there. But we will put the things that are relevant, they have integrity, that are informative, factual.
For the information scientists, a review of the curriculum and fashioning other ways of funding is crucial.
I'm deeply concerned about the plan of government to stop funding all professional councils from January 2024.
In view of that, we are making arrangement in the issue of review of our Act of Establishment, and we are also engaging aggressively on collaboration with government and non-governmental organizations so that we can improve the funding of the council.
I would use my knowledge that I've acquired here to make sure that the archiving space is better.
The event also saw the induction of the 14th batch of certified librarians in Nigeria. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
As the rainy season gradually ends in the south region of the country without the predicted intense flooding, cassava farmers in Bayelsa State are taking advantage of the situation and the natural manure generated by what they described as normal flood this year to cultivate cassava for high yield. This, they hinted, is expected to reduce the hunger associated with food shortages due to the insecurity experienced by farmers in the past. Doris Akomonye, who interfaced with the farmers, reports that the state government is also supporting the farmers for bountiful harvest.
Bayelsa State, which is below sea level, is a maritime-dominated environment with a peculiar terrain as majority of its people engage in fishing and farming. The coastal nature of the area permits for large agricultural activities within few months due to its topography, which is flood-prone. Farming activities, especially for the cultivation of cassava and other crops, is on the increase as farmers spend quality time daily at the farm.
This is the planting season. We start to plant our food crops this November.
So we dey do farm, where we dey do the farm far. Now canoe we dey use. We dey plant cassava. After now we go harvest the food.
With the flag off of the dry season farming by the state government and distribution of seedlings and stems, the stage is now set for large-scale cassava planting.
In terms of employment, it's huge, it's massive. It's you know, every cassava farmer, for example, would have a market already. There is a market for your cassava. So, you know, you take off what you can use for gari, perhaps, and then sell the rest of the factory, because the factory comes out with 2 types of starch.
The commitment and political will demonstrated by the state government is expected to reduce the price of gari and starch, which the state has comparative advantage with other South-South states that will make it affordable to both the low-income and average Bayelsans in the next few months, thereby encouraging food sufficiency. In Yenegoa, Doris Akomonye, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bedlow.